What is going on, everyone, and welcome back. I hope everyone enjoyed the PGA Championship. I don't know if it's me getting older or just the fact that I love a good DFS sweat, but there is nothing better than sitting on a couch watching Sunday golf, especially in the majors, some of these big tournaments. Had an absolute blast. I didn't have any lineups in the running or anything like that, but Will Zalatoris, battling it out, Mito kind of falling apart at the end. JT was really the only guy that went out there and took it. Once it got to a playoff, you kind of felt like he had all the momentum. Although, Zalatoris, man, played great. Was 100 in the 3-hole playoff. Ultimately, fell just short. I think he's going to get there eventually. Sad news from last week. Tiger Woods had to withdraw after the third round. We got reports on Monday and Tuesday that he was looking, really good, walking just fine. And then we got reports late Wednesday that he was really laboring around the course, and we certainly saw that, on Thursday on the back nine, and then Friday just gutting it out. For him to make the cut was truly impressive, with what he was dealing with. And then Saturday it got cold, and you could tell, he just didn't have it. So hopefully we'll see him back for the U.S. Open, if not, certainly for the Open Championship. All we can hope for is that, he gets a little bit better as time progresses in terms of the leg, but, really, who knows if it gets better or not. But anyway, big congrats to Justin Thomas. Ton of swag, ton of talent. It feels like it's, win's been, due for a very long time. He did win the Players last year, but it seems like he's been in the mix so many times. So let's turn our attention to the Charles Schwab Challenge. This is going to be, a very stacked field, which is nice to see before the PGA Championship and after the major, or after the Masters. We had a lot of bad fields, so it's nice to see a lot of the big names teeing it up this week. It's going to take place in Fort Worth, Texas at Colonial Country Club. This is a par 70 that measures 7,200 yards. Ton of course history to work with. A lot of data, so we know how the course is going to play. The fairway is extremely narrow, 27 yards wide on average. Even though a lot of golfers are going to end up clubbing down off the tee on a lot of these holes, the fairways are still difficult to hit. So they're narrow and they're difficult to hit even if you do club down. Accuracy is certainly going to be more important than distance off the tee. You're going to see a lot of similar approach shots for even the shorter and longer hitters in the field. You're going to see a lot of approaches from 125 to 175. So I am looking at proximity from the two approach buckets there, 125 to 150 and 150 to 175. Unlike we saw at I think it was the Byron Nelson, very few shots from 200 plus yards. So long irons aren't going to be nearly as important this week, and we're going to be hitting those approach shots into very small greens. 5,000 square feet on average, a little bit smaller than we saw at the PGA Championship. They feature bent grass, so if you do like putting splits, you certainly don't mind looking at some bent grass splits. With the fairways being tough to hit and with these greens being small, the GIR, green regulation percentage, is much lower than tour average. So that means more scrambling opportunities going to come into play. So I do think around the green is going to be important. We've seen Kevin Na win here before, Jordan Spieth. So certainly guys that you think of as scramblers. The course is played in the top 20 in difficulty each of the last 5 years, so we do expect a fairly tough test. Nothing like last week, of course, but it should be difficult, and there's always going to be some wind in Texas, so be sure to check the forecast link that I have in this first look, and in the PGA first look. And essentially, I'm looking for guys that can hit fairways and then just solid on approach, good around the green, good putters. I think that makes a lot of sense. Course history has been very predictive here, year in and year out. So bumping up my weight to course history this week. In terms of the comps that I'm looking at, we got Strokes on par 70, and then these 4 golf courses: Pebble, PGA National, Harbor Town, and Sea Island. Kind of pick those out as corollary courses, if you will. In terms of the stats that I'm looking at, smaller weight off the tee, no weight to distance, so I got 3% total to good drive, 3% to fairways gained. Big weight on strokes gain approach, pretty decent weight on strokes gain ball striking, especially recent ball striking. And again, I like to look at the way golfers are trending when it comes to their ball striking. So somebody like Sung J M, good ball striker, but over the last 3 months, 4 months, he has been struggling a bit. Same goes for Taylor Gooch. He's kind of trending in the wrong direction. Bryson obviously trending in the wrong direction. And then you get somebody like Brian Harman, who's really coming around the last few events. So I like to use that to kind of compare how guys are striking the ball, over different time frames. You have proximity, which again is mostly from 125 to 175, a little bit from 175 to 200, and a little bit from 100 to 125. But for the most part, just those mid irons and those wedges. JT, Hovland, Scheffler, Finau, kind of rate out as the best guys from those ranges over the last 10 months. Small weight to GIR, birdie or better, bogey avoidance, pretty big weight, strokes gained around the green and putting. Course history, we got a lot of data to work with. And then again, we have the whole yardage breakdown, which looks at the whole yardages of this specific course. Guys that rate out the best there: Morikawa, Mito Pereira, JT, Scheffler, and Hovland. Comp 1, which is, again, strokes gained on par 70s. You have Daniel Berger, Bryson, JT, Webb, and Tringali, who is certainly an interesting name. He popped up in a lot of the stuff last week, and I didn't end up playing much of him. He had a pretty good week at the PGA Championship. And then Comp 2 is going to be those 4 comp courses that I mentioned. You got Webb, Berger, Spieth, Tommy Fleetwood with the Great Sunday at the PGA Championship, and Matthew Neesmith. That'll kind of do it. If you do want to join RG Premium, we would love to have you. You get access to all the tools, all the articles. You can download this model. You get access to the RG Discord, which is a lot of fun. A lot of good sharp players in there and sharp bettors in there that are going to talk golf each and every week. And again, you can download this. You can go through. You can adjust all the weights to how you see them. And then I will also have notes for about half the field, probably more than half the field this week since there's only 120 golfers. And just basically talk about, how well they've played here in the past, incoming form, yada, 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 maybe some, relationships to the course or the area, whatever it may be. So I do like to put in those notes each and every week and then, go through. You can build your lineups this way. You can upload all these ratings into Lineup HQ, which is kind of cool, and go from there. So hope everyone had a good week at the PGA Championship. I'm hoping for a better week myself at the Charles Schwab Challenge. Good luck, everybody.